Okay, so I'm Beth with Fabric Chicks, and I am I'm hosting live interviews for Quilt Show Reno, which is coming up very, very soon. It's gosh, it's hard to believe, but it's only about 6 weeks away. So we're doing live. We have Linda Mc Geehee for today. Linda is one of the, in my opinion, one of the treasures that we have in the quilting industry. She has been around about probably, I don't know, about as long as I've been around. How long have you been around, Linda?
So my business is 45 years this year.
Okay, so that's kind
almost as old as you are.
I know. Well, I started in the industry probably 42 years ago-ish. So it's been a long time, but it's exciting to interview people, the quilters and designers who've been around longer, because you have the whole history and the makeup of the industry. So it's kind of exciting. You were there when we had the Fairfield fashion shows and when things were still high class. I mean, not that they're not now, but it was a different, like, quilt market and festivals were different back in the days. Like, we got dressed up to go to them. We didn't go in our pajamas. No, but it was a different time, and I hope we can bring that back. I hope we can. We have a lot of things planned, Linda. I know I haven't told you yet because we had to go live so quick, but we have, we're encouraging people to wear garments or bags that they've made at Quilt Show Reno all 3 days. We have 2 special people that are going to be passing out raffle tickets to people who are wearing things that they've made. And then we're going to have a stage presentation in the afternoon with raffles and all kinds of fun things. So we've got a lot of things planned for the show floor. And you fit right in there because you make garments. You're one of the queen. You actually were lucky enough to make a garment for the Fairfield fashion show way back in the day, which was an honor to be asked to do that. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the like?
Well, I just went to the closet a few minutes ago and thought, I'm teaching a thread class. They might like to see this.
You went. I love it. You went to the closet.
Well, yeah. Everything's at my house now. I used to have a big studio, and now everything's here. And my CPA said, well, how much of your house do you think is your business? And it's like 100%. Well, there's a corner in the kitchen that doesn't have fabric in it, but right now it's got a suitcase. But
isn't that funny? I told my accountant the same thing. Like I eat, breathe, sew, everything. Okay, hang on. I'm going to make you big so you can show us.
Well, this is my Fairfield garment that opened the show back in the 90s. It was on the front cover of one of the magazines, and if I can pull up the magazine, I could tell you what year it is. This is just the jacket. So there's lots of piecing. This is spiral patchwork and thread work on top of the patchwork. The handbag is woven fabric. But I took that same woven fabric and added all sorts of thread work around the yoke area. There's 85 spools of thread was used to make this.
Holy cow.
And then there's pin tucking down here. I wasn't planning to pull everything out, but I can. These are the pants, and there's an inset in the side of the pants. That this is the inset so that when you walk from the side, people can see that. It's really an attention getter, and it's fun to wear. Maybe you mean if I wear this at the show, I can be up for the raffle?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Uh-huh. We are looking forward to seeing what you're going to be wearing every day so you can be entered in the raffle every day.
Oh, my goodness. That means I better get busy sewing.
I know, it's so exciting.
The closet or losing weight, one of the two.
Well, come on. We got to be realistic here. We might as well make new outfits.
Well, I haven't gained that much.
No, I know, but it's so hard to lose weight. It's just easier to make.
We just had chocolate time.
I know. Okay, so I want to welcome, we have Linda Mc Geehee here. She has Gee's Designs, and she's doing a lot of classes and demos on the free stage throughout Quilt Show Reno. So she's going to show us some of her projects, and I'm just going to turn it right over to you, Linda.
Okay. I spoke with Opal the other day, and so I have a whole list of classes, and I'm just going to start at the top and go down to the bottom. But Beth,
Okay.
one thing that's real exciting about my classroom is that Bernina is sponsoring the classroom. So those of you who are in my room, any of these hands-on classes, the machines are there. You do not have to take your machine to class. The machines, the feet, Bernina sponsoring. So you'll have a wonderful machine to sew on, and just learn all sorts of fun techniques and just play. Because I have some new friends here in Shreveport, and they asked me what I did. And I said, oh, I teach sewing. And they said, where? And I said, all over. I'm going to be in Reno in a couple of weeks. I was just in Atlanta and down in Florida. So I go all over. I said, you don't come to me to learn how to mend something. I don't do that kind of sewing there. And truthfully, Beth, if you look in those instruction books, none of the machines that I now own have a section or chapter on mending. So I don't think these new machines mend. They're not designed for mending.
No.
They're more designed to have fun and play with your creativity.
Exactly.
So one of the classes that the first class, and I'm arriving on Monday. Last year or year before last, when I was there, I tried to fly in and then do an evening class, and it was a struggle because of weather. So I'm coming in on Monday. My first class is Tuesday evening, and it's called "Oh, What a Tangle Web We Weave When We Stitch." So we're going to be playing with all sorts of threads. It's going to be more of a sampler type thing. And you'll make a bunch of samplers that you could put into something. This happens to have some woven fabric in the background, but we'll use decorative stitches, couching techniques, all sorts of thread stuff. There's everything I do has to do with playing with thread. This is a bag that goes along with another vest that I've made. And look up here at the top. That's the selvage edge of the fabric. So I use every bit. Sometimes I buy the fabric for the selvage rather than the fabric itself. But there's piecing. Sometimes I put thread work on top of my piecing. Other times I like to keep it separated. But there are all sorts of feet that make your sewing easier, and it really makes you look good at midnight when you're trying to stitch, which is when most of us get to stitch. And so I am doing a lecture later on in the week, Saturday at 10 o'clock, Enhance Your Craft with the Proper Sewing Feet. So I'll be discussing all machines. I'm not dedicated to just one machine. It's a lecture, and I have a wonderful handout of the feet that I like to use. It's the top 10 feet that I use all the time. And actually, there's a few more in there because some of them are available in different sizes. But feet are a wonderful accessory for your machines. It makes it easier for you to do certain tasks. And if you like doing what that task is all about, then it is well worth having the foot to make it easier. For instance, I love corded piping. And you've seen corded piping in a bunch of the things I've done. But look how it enhances this little, this can end up being a holder for your rotary cutter, your sunglasses, or just a pot holder. But the tiny corded piping really accents all the pieces. And take a look at the difference between this and this. So the detail of the corded piping really adds on. So that's just one of the feet that I'll be discussing. There's several feet that are for utility and several feet that have to do with embellishing. So we'll be playing with feet in that lecture, and that lecture is on Saturday. I jumped ahead of myself, but let me go back to Wednesday morning. We're going to make a bag, and the pattern is called Zip to Shape. So you use the zipper. See, there's a zipper around the bottom. When I unzip this zipper, the bag goes flat. So for storage, it's nice and flat. You're working with rectangular pieces, so you have a straight palette that you can do embellishing. And we're going to be working with some of my kaleidoscopes that I created. So you'll have a strip of kaleidoscope that will also do a little bit of thread embellishment. We don't have time in the length of this class to do a lot. But looky here, Beth. Right here is a secret pocket.
Ooh,
So
I love it.
actually becomes the bottom of the bag. So nobody's going to
Oh,
know it's there unless you tell them. And then
that's where you
we
keep your
create the
secret
drawstring.
money.
So here's another one with embroidery. So if you like to embroidery, piecing, thread work, even there's all sorts of things that can go on that straight piece for embellishing. So that class is called Zip to Shape, and it's a drawstring type bag. It's one of my patterns, and that's on Wednesday from 8 to 11. Then Wednesday at noon, we're going to make a smartphone wallet. And my granddaughter, I said, what do you find necessary in a wallet? And she said, well, you don't need a wallet. You need a place for your cell phone and your cards. And I said, well, you need a little bit of money. And she said, no, you don't. You just need cards. Well, I don't agree with her all that way. But this was originally black fabric. So we did a little bit of embellishing on it. On the other side, there are 2 zipper pockets. And these have RFID fabric in it to protect the security of your cards and your ID. When this is zip closed and folded in half, the closure is real secure. It can become a wristlet. It can hook to the inside of a big tote, or it can hook to your belt if you want to go that route. And you should be able to finish this completely in the class. It's called the Smartphone Wallet, and that's on Wednesday afternoon from 12 until 4. Thursday, we're doing a handy bag ironing pad, and I designed a bag that unzips completely flat to go to a festival, and the lunch size is this size. And we decided to take this into an ironing bag. So your iron will fit inside here, and the fabric's quilted. So you have your padding there. And then when you get to class, you will unzip it, and this becomes your ironing pad. And we have that silver ironing stuff that Bo Nash has. It's going to be it's not on the inside of this one because this is a lunch, but that's what it looks like from the ironing side, and this is what it looks like on the other side. So you will be working with zippers, but they're easy zippers to put on. It's not your normal technique. And the fabric that I'm having quilted for that class is this sewing machine fabric.
Oh, that's going to be cute.
So there, and then we'll have the black and white brights zippers to go on it. It's going to be fun. So that's called the Handy Ironing Pad Tote on Thursday from 1 to 5. Then Friday, and Friday's my big day. Friday, I'm going to start off with a lecture on zippers. And you know, there are so many different kinds of zippers nowadays. And the newest zipper I have is this one. Look how shiny it is. This is the beginning of another bag that I'm making. This is actually a real zipper. So this is the pocket that's going to be on the side. And here I'm using half of a zipper for corded piping. So that just gives you an idea of some of the things that I do with zippers. Going back to the bag that we did earlier, the zip to shape, the bottom area is a zipper to form the shape of the bag. But the top is just there for fun. It's using zipper as a trim. So you're going to learn in that zipper lecture at noon on Friday, at least 5 different zipper techniques that are good ways to sew whether bags or garments. You're going to learn some playing around. We'll even discuss some jewelry. You'll learn how to take a zipper apart, put it back together again, and all the different types of zippers so that you'll really, somebody said, Linda, you ought to call this Zipper 101. So we're going to learn all types of stuff about zippers by the yard, separating zippers, closed-in zippers, and how to handle all types of zippers. Then Friday night is my big hoopla night. That's when we're having the mystery class. And every year that I've taught in Reno, we've had a mystery class. And we've gone through lots of bags. We even did jewelry one time out of zippers. But all the students know is that there will be a zipper involved and there'll be multiple projects. And so I'm telling you that I'll give you a little bit more hints and maybe you can figure out what's going to happen. But it's not a bag. It's not jewelry, but it's going to be a really fun project. And Opal added 4 more spots. The class was full and she talked to Bernina and they're going to have 4 more. So there are now 4 more spots for this class on Friday evening. We are going to have a ball. It's going to be fun. But I'm not telling anybody. I haven't even told Beth. Beth doesn't know, so you can't pump her. But it's going to be a fun class that you'll enjoy doing others of, and it's a good way to show off some of the other stitching that you do. So that's Friday night, 6 to 9. We're going to have fun in the mystery class. On Saturday, I'm doing a lecture class on feet, and I mentioned that earlier. So we'll be talking about corded piping, thread work, patchwork, all sorts of feet to make the task easier. And I do have a representation of all machines. It's not just one machine because all machines now are starting to do feet. So we're going to have feet to make your life a lot easier, make you look a little bit more perfect. And that's what it's all about. And you can sew faster and be more accurate. So that's the foot class Saturday morning at 10. Then from 12:30 to 3:30, we're going to do off the rail table runner. And I started doing another one. It's under this pile somewhere. Here we go. And I had a block left over. So I'm going to make a pillow. But rather than the pattern of my friend from the Tipsy Needle, that's the name of her company. She uses little tiny rectangle pieces. Well, I don't use little tiny pieces. I use strips. And in working with the strips, you end up getting the pinwheel look in the center. But we're going to do the table run. And I decided for the first time I'm going to let people bring their own fabric. So you can see the pinwheel that's in the center. It changes colors depending upon which way you put it together. So this will be a table runner. I don't know that we'll get all the quilting done, but we'll get the piecing done and it'll be ready for quilting. We'll just go as far as we can and just see what happens. So that's off the rail table runner on Saturday from 12:30 to 3:30. And then at some point, I'm on the free stage on Friday. And so the free stage is 45-minute venues, and their other vendors and teachers get up there and just tell you a bunch of information in 45 minutes. The information I'm going to share is quick projects that can be finished in under an hour. And a couple of years ago, after doing all these big garments that took hours and hours and hours, I kept hearing my students say, I want something quick. It needs to be easy and fast. They wanted instant gratification. So I put my head together and started making some quick, fun little things. I did a bunch of stuff with circles, and I'll be showing you some of that too. And it really has been fun and instant gratification to make some of these things. And they're great things for the seasoned stitcher or for kids to get started into sewing, because I think kids nowadays really do want to sew. They didn't go through the stage where you had to sew to have clothes. They're using it as fun and creativity. And that's the important part of sewing, as far as I'm concerned. I want people to have fun with the machine, treat thread like a paintbrush, and just enjoy what you're doing, because you can get a lot of gratification out of playing with, whether it's machine or hand. I just happen to do machine. But I look forward to seeing everybody coming up pretty soon. I'm working. You can't see right here, but there are stacks of my kits getting started, getting ready to ship out there to Reno. So it's going to be here before we know it, Beth. And
I know.
Here's another one. I have a friend that has a tool for, the ruler work.
Mm-hmm.
In her tool, she can make 5 or 6 different shapes with one tool. So she did some little pieces you can see on the pocket, and then over here, there's another on the
Lift it up a little bit.
Lift it up.
Yep, there you go. There you go. Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah. That's beautiful. Mm-hmm.
So there's all, and you can mix and match and play. You can do all sorts of stuff. You don't have to. It's nice to know some good information and get some basics, how to use your machine, the possibilities. But it is really, really fun just to be creative. And it doesn't have to be perfect. When you look at artwork like oil paintings, it's slopped paint on there. I mean, you can do the same thing with thread. It's really fun.
And I think that's the beauty of your classes, is you're not taking on a big project that they're going to have to finish afterwards, but they're learning so many techniques that they can incorporate in whatever they're already working on.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of people say they have so many unfinished projects. Well, if you have an unfinished project, there's a reason. You're missing a button. You need another technique added to it.
It's not fun anymore.
It's not fun anymore. And sometimes it's worth it. Just if somebody likes it, give it to them. Be done with it. That's okay. Maybe you've learned all you needed to learn on that. So I have a lot of projects going on, but I don't have any unfinished projects. I do have a lot of stages for my students to see.
Oh, that's almost the worst, because you can never finish them because they have to stay in those stages so you can demo them.
Well, no, I eventually get that finished, and then I have another stage bounce in.
Okay.
Or someday I'll just sit down and I finish 3 or 4 of them. And it's like, whoa, this was a productive week.
Right.
It needs to happen between now and June too.
For sure. So you have been coming to the Quilt Show Reno for years. I don't even know how long we've been doing Quilt Show Reno, but I want to say at least 15 years, 20 years.
I don't know that it's 20. Well, I know they were doing it before I came.
I'll have to ask Opal, because
one of the first years, well, Opal should know, but one of the first years that I went, my husband rode his motorcycle out there. I flew, he rode his motorcycle. I was happy to see him when I got there. And he said, there's a motorcycle convention going on, and they're having one of those, you drive someplace and you pick up a card.
Oh, like a poker run.
They had a poker run, yeah.
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, you ought to go do it." And he said, "Well, did you know that every stop is at a brothel?" I said, "Well, wait a minute."
I didn't know we had that many brothels around.
Well,
maybe back in the day. Maybe there's more than we know about. Maybe brothels and bars. Who knows?
I don't know. He had a good time.
Yeah. So what is your favorite part about Quilt Show Reno? Nothing like putting you on the spot, right?
Yeah, usually you're supposed to prep people with the questions so they can have an answer.
This is live.
I like being with people live. I didn't really like being during COVID and having to do Zooms and things like that. I mean, right now we're doing a little promotional and it's okay. But I wouldn't like to teach in this scenario. Right. I like to be there with people hands-on. I can't tell you how to hold your hand. I mean, I can kind of tell you, but you just being with people and the interaction, you find things that, I mean, you make mistakes, you discover new stuff. It's just, I like the interaction with the students or my friends.
Right.
And the displays have been wonderful there. And even the little challenges of what people, like you do one, they get a little bag of something. It's amazing what they show up, what they make. You're still doing that, aren't you?
I think it's our 8th year or something crazy where they give me $10 and I give them a bag of stuff, random stuff. And they have to use 4 things out of the bag. And I mean, some people create garments. They create the last year, the grand prize winner was an incredible ship, like this massive ship that was quilted and embellished. And I mean, the dimension and it's pretty incredible what people come up with.
Yeah. The creativity that's around is amazing.
For sure.
You know, it'd be kind of fun to have some kind of little setup there where you come and you get stuff and you have a couple of hours to make something. And at the end of it, make it a contest, a hands-on contest there.
Oh, that would be fun. Okay, I'm going to have to think about that because I know that we're doing quite a few more make and takes this year. So I'm going to have to think of something that they can do in a short period of time with a random weird bag. That would be a fun one. That'd be a fun challenge.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I'm thinking about it.
Mark it on the list.
Exactly. One more thing. So we do have a bunch of things, fun programs this year. We've got a lot of classes. If you don't want to bring your sewing machines, we have a lot of the classes are sponsored. Thank goodness we have, I believe it's Going Batty who is sponsoring the Bernina room. We have Sierra Sewing sponsoring the Handy Quilters and the several other, I don't have my notes, so I'm not sure what machines that they're sponsoring, but they're sponsoring several rooms of machines. So it's kind of nice that this year we've got so many sponsors for the classroom machines that you might not even have to drag your machine out to take classes. So
that'd be wonderful. And if you fall in love, I bet you they'd be willing to give you a good deal on them because then they're going to be used machines. They can't sell them as brand new. Right. So I imagine they're going to have some good deals.
Yes, a lot of good deals. So if you're thinking about buying a machine, you might want to pop into Sierra Sewing and Going Batty and see. They might have something you can kind of put your name on ahead of time if you want. And I know that Going Batty is doing a carnival theme in their booth with make and takes and all kinds of fun things. So I think this year's show is going to be a little bit different than normal with a lot of fun things happening on the show floor. And I know we've got lectures that you can do. We've got the free stage, all kinds of events. I really think it's an event that you want to plan on staying more than a day, because if you take advantage of all the make and takes and the free stages, you're gonna be able to fill up your day.
Oh, you can't do it in one day.
No,
I mean, don't do that to yourself.
no,
You
unless
can
you're
do a
wearing
lot of
roller
shows on
skates
the
and
East
blinders.
Coast, and people did not allow enough time to. They've told me I didn't know there was going to be so much wonderful to see. I
Right.
can't do everything I want. So yeah, you don't have to worry about the dishes or any of that kind of stuff. Just come. All you have to do is go upstairs to your room, come back down early in the morning,
Right.
and get started again. Yeah, it's fun.
Perfect.
You're going to have a good time.
Linda, how many years have you been doing this show? I'm trying to think in my head. Now it's like it's a quandary.
I would say at least 12.
At least. I was going to say 14.
Wait a minute. It's going to be longer than that.
Yeah.
I was talking to Rosalie the other day. I think Rosalie could help me figure it out.
Yeah. I would say 14 at least.
And it,
and I think there's some ladies in your Friday Night Mystery class that have taken it every year.
Well, there, it fills up fast. So
yes, yeah. So we want to make sure that you guys go to the website. The website is scrolling at the bottom of the screen, www.quiltshowreno.com. Check out all the classes that are being offered. And I suggest that you kind of make a schedule so that you can make sure that you don't miss any of the vendors that are doing make and takes. And you get signed up for the classes that you want, because we do have some that have already sold out, and a lot of them are filling up fast. So make sure you get signed up for that, and you join any of the challenges that you want to participate in. All right, Linda.
Good walking shoes.
Best tip of the day.
I was going to say comfortable clothes, but you need to wear your finery.
Yes.
To show off. Yeah.
Yes.
We want to see what you've been sewing.
Yeah,
sure. It doesn't have to be that. I mean, a lot of this stuff is not dated at all.
No. Well, and I mean, they could repurpose jeans, or we just want to see what kind of fun things that you guys are working on. And we want to make the show floor kind of like a walking, revolving fashion show. This is the one place and one time where you can kind of get crazy in your outfits, and it's appropriate. So,
absolutely.
So make sure that you join us. It is, we start on June 3rd and we go through the 7th. If you have any questions, you can always go to our website, find the answers, or you can contact us if you have any questions. Linda, I want to thank you for joining us today, and I'm super excited. I want to see what your mystery class is going to be. I know, but don't tell me, because the girls will pump me for information.
I know you can't keep a secret, so I'm just, you got to wait.
I know.
You got to wait.
Okay. All right. Well, we want to thank all of you for joining us, and join us next Monday at 3:00. We've got I think we've got 2 interviews scheduled for next Monday. So join us next Monday, and make sure you go check out the website and get signed up for all the classes that you want to take, and mark on your schedule when Linda's doing the free stages and all the fun stuff that's happening. All right. Thank you. Go have a good week and go get some sewing done.
Absolutely. Bye-bye, y'all. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Perfect.